looking. He had a buckskin shirt.
Anything else you remember?
He had funny eyes, Marshal. They had spots in them.
It's Gatlif, Chester.
I declare it sounds like him, sure enough.
Son, how come you didn't tell anybody about what you saw?
I was afraid to, till you came, Marshal.
Why, it's all right. But in case I want to find you later sometime, what's your name?
Yorkie Kelly.
All right, I won't forget that, Yorkie. And thanks for telling me about this.
Oh, sure, Marshal, anytime.
Well, I hope there won't be a next time, Yorkie. Goodbye.
So long, Marshal.
Goodbye.
Guess it was Gatlif, all right.
Yeah.
Seems like a dangerous sort of man to be running loose.
No, I got him now, Chester. As soon as I find him.
I hope so, Mr. Dillon. I certainly do hope so.
We will return with the second act of Gunsmoke in just a moment. But first, tomorrow night, Frank Lovejoy stars in the remarkable talent of Egbert Haw on CBS Radio's Theater of Stars. Also tomorrow night, hear Lionel Barrymore on your Hall of Fame Playhouse.
HudsonRiverRadio.com, your local Rockland County station.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir?
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir?
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
This is HudsonRiverRadio.com.
Now the second act of Gunsmoke.
Since Gatlif would figure nobody had seen him, it wasn't likely that he'd run. And anyway, there wasn't much sense in trying to track him down in the dark. So Chester and I didn't start out until the next morning. Ordinarily, a man would ride into the prairie and disappear. But with Gatlif, it was a little different. At least we knew he'd be somewhere around Buffalo. It was late afternoon before we reached good hunting grounds, and almost dark when we spotted the first hunter's camp.
We just gonna ride right up to him, Mr. Dillon?
Now, this isn't Gatlif. He had mules. This man's got horses.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep your eyes open just the same, Chester.
Oh, yes, sir.
Get down, stranger.
Thank you.
Supper will be ready. Cook, throw some more tongue in that stew pot. Don't like buffalo tongue. You'll go mighty hungry in this camp.
Oh, thanks, mister.
Hey, you're a lawman.
Matt Dillon. I'm a U.S. Marshal.
My name's Tom Mercer.
How are you? This is Chester Proudfoot.
How'd you do? Mr. Mercer? Come over by the wagon and sit down. Supper'll take a little longer now. Anyway, my skinners won't be in for a while yet.
Well, how you doing, Mr. Mercer?
Oh, fair, Marshal, fair. Had a stand of about 100 today. Killed every one of them but a couple of old bulls.
Oh?
That's why the boys are out so late.
Have you been here long?
About a month. Move on in a couple of weeks. I don't know, Marshal. I think this whole southern herd's going to be clean wiped out for long. Next year, I'm going to Dakota.
Too many hunters, maybe, huh?
That's just it. That's it, exactly.
Have you seen any in the last day or two, Mr. Mercer?
Just who you looking for, Marshal?
Man named Gatlif. Big man. Speckled eyes.
What's he done?
You know him?
No, I don't. Nobody's come near us in over a week.
You're not much help. Except for that stew the cook's making.
Oh, you like that. We're having dried apples, too.
Oh?
I mighty near could eat a buffalo raw, the entire beast.
You must be part Indian.
Well, no, sir.
I've seen one of them eat a whole liver raw. Got propped up against a tree and ate every bit of it and then went sound asleep right there in the sun. He was sure some sight.
Heard you ever get that close to an Indian?
Oh, Indians ain't always bad. Take last fall, about 20 of them rode right down into our camp. We thought we was done for sure, but you know what happened? They were looking for meat, that's all. We let them take what they wanted, they rode away. Just as peaceful like as a man could ask.
They're going to get real hungry when the herd's gone.
That's so, Marshal. That is surely so. That's what makes them mad.
Don't you think that's reason enough?
Fella told me a couple of weeks ago he run into a bunch west of here. He was looking for scalps, all right, but good buffalo man with his old Sharps 50 can pick off Indians at 1,500 yards. Ain't no match for him at all.
Not unless they stalk him.
Oh, they've done that, sure. Hey, here come the Skinners. Let's go get outside some of that stew.
Good.
All of it. Don't you ever feed this man, Marshal?
Only when he works, Mr. Mercer.
Oh, now, Mr. Dillon.
We spent the night in Tom Mercer's camp. And at dawn, just after breakfast, we said goodbye and rode on west. There was a lot of country out there, and all we could do was ride through it till we ran into him. In the next 2 days, we met plenty of hunters, but we didn't find Gatliff. About noon of the third day, we cut the trail of a wagon train and figured that it'd be that of a hide buyer's agent who'd come into the field to do business on the spot. And an hour or two later, we saw him. A long string of ox-drawn wagons piled high with buffalo hides. And there was a man on horseback leading the train. We rode up to him.
Hello there.
Well, that's quite a load you got, mister.
10,000 so far. But what are you doing way out here, Marshal?
I'm looking for a hunter named Gatliff. You know him?
Sure I do. Just picked up a load from his rick early this morning. Is he in trouble?
Yeah, he sure is. Where is he?
Straight south here a couple of miles. Can't tell you exactly. He moves around a lot.
Well, that's close enough for us. Thanks a lot, mister.
Sure, Marshal. I never did like him anyway.
There's an empty rick over yonder. That must be it.
Yeah, but he's moved his camp.
Not far if it was just this morning.
Chester, what's that out there?
Where?
Hey, that looks like a man. Come on. Hey.
Oh, oh. Well, Mr. Dillon, it's that Skinner of his.
Get some water, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Toby? Toby, can you hear me? He's been shot.
Yes, sir. Here's the water.
Yeah.
Oh.
Toby?
Huh?
It's Marshal Dillon.
Give me a drink.
Here you are.
He shot me, Marshal.
Oh, what happened? Where's the rest of the crew?
They run off. He took his wagon and the horses. He went kind of crazy when he found out. That's why he shot me.
You know where he is now?
No, I don't know, Marshal. He shot me, and then he said he was going hunting. He's gone loco. Loco.
Now, take it easy, Toby. Take it easy. You'll be all right.
I could hear him shooting at Sharps a long time, and then he stopped.
Where was he? Which way?
Off. Behind me there. I could hear him.
Chester, you stay with him. I'm going after Gatliff.
All right, sir.
Off in the direction Toby had indicated, there lay a large, isolated hollow surrounded by low ridges. When I reached it, I dismounted, and I crawled up to where I could look down into it. There was no sign of Gatliffe, but lying on the prairie floor were the bodies of countless fresh-killed buffalo. It was a strange sight. The old bulls, the cows, the little calves lying there blackening the prairie grass. I got up and stood, looking at it for a long time. And then suddenly, out in the middle, I thought I saw a slight movement. And a second later, there came the familiar boom of a Sharps 50. And I dropped behind a ridge and waited. And then Chester rode up.
Have you found him, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah.
I thought I'd better come along. You see...
Toby's dead, is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Gatliffe's down there in the middle of the hollow. But we can't get anywhere near him as long as he's got that Sharps rifle. He's killed a small herd of buffalo in there, and now he's lying out in the center of them.
Well, that's the darndest thing I ever heard of, Mr. Dillon. He must have gone crazy, just like Toby said.
Yeah.
What's he shooting at now? Mr. Dillon, the way he's facing them shots.
Yeah, that's the signal for help, Chester. Come on.
Say, maybe this is a trap.
Be ready to take cover behind one of these animals. It might be.
Sounds like he's been hurt.
Yeah. Keep your head up.
There he is, behind that big bull.
Yeah, I see him.
Well, Mr. Dillon, he's all...
There have been horses in here. Indians.
My goodness.
Come on. Well, that was his last effort, Chester. He's dead now.
Mr. Dillon, that's awful.
Yeah. Come on, let's get out of here. I don't know how the Indians caught Gatliffe. He'd gone a little mad, and maybe that made it easy for him. But they finally got themselves a buffalo hunter. And into their unbelievably savage torture of him had gone all the hatred and desperation of a race being slowly starved and driven from their homeland. And then they'd put him there surrounded by his own bloody slaughter. And they'd gone off with a gesture of contempt, leaving his rifle and his ammunition by his side. And having seen what they did to him, I'll never know how he managed to fire even one of those shots. For all of his evil, Gatliffe had died harder than any man I'd ever seen. Chester and I rode back to Dodge. And it was never mentioned between us again.
HudsonRiverRadio.com, your local Rockland County station.
This is HudsonRiverRadio.com, your local Rockland County station.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was especially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, John Daner, Harry Bartell, Richard Beals, and William Euler. Parley Bear is Chester, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. Gunsmoke is heard by our troops overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. night on CBS.